Welcome to Africa Insight. I'm joined today by special guest Ruth Kasanga, who will talk about developments in Tanzania. But first, some rare positive news from north of the border, where the Zimbabwe High Court has declared parts of the Criminal Law, Codification and Reform Act unconstitutional. It's more commonly known as the Patriotic Act and was rushed through Parliament in the first half of 2023 as the country was getting ready for elections. The parts of the Act is genuinely frightening, including the section which has now been struck down, Section 22A3, which created the crime of willfully injuring the sovereignty and national interests of Zimbabwe. Worse still, the penalty for this and other offences include life imprisonment, the termination of citizenship, suspension from voting and holding public office, and even the death penalty. The case was brought by the Media Alliance of Zimbabwe and a private citizen, journalist Senzele Ndebele. The litigants claimed that the offending clauses are unconstitutional because they are vague, ambiguous, and therefore open to abuse, serving as a tool for cracking down on dissent. And the court agreed, saying Section 22A3 was draconian. However, the court found other parts of the Act were above board, meaning the Patriotic Act itself obviously remains in force. Civil society and opposition parties are not used to winning in court in Zimbabwe, and as such the most recent court ruling, invalidating sections of one of the most hated laws, prompted rare celebrations. Human Rights Watch was measured in its response, saying that while the ruling was a positive step, the Zimbabwe government should repeal the draconian Patriotic Act altogether. It warned that the provision criminalizing gatherings with the intention of promoting calls for economic sanctions against the country remain in place and gives authorities broad scope to crack down peaceful assembly and freedom of expression, precisely as the regime works towards ending sanctions altogether. How about you, Ruth? What's happening in Tanzania?
Yes, thanks, Louw. So on June 16, Tanzania's opposition leader Tundu Lissu was granted permission to represent himself in his treason trial, a move that says much about the state of Tanzanian politics. Mr. Lissu has been in detention since April 9 without private access to his legal team. He says his conversations have been surveilled by the state and thus his request to defend himself. One of his lawyers, former Kenyan Justice Minister Martha Karua, was even blocked from defending him and deported from Tanzania on May 18. All this raises serious questions about whether Mr. Lissu is getting a fair trial. Mr. Lissu is facing treason and false information charges tied to a rally where he allegedly incited unrest ahead of Tanzania's October 2025 elections. But many see this as part of a broader pattern, using legal tools to remove political opposition ahead of the elections. And it's not just about Mr. Lissu. His party, Chadema, has been banned from running in all elections until 2030 after refusing to sign a new electoral code of conduct. Then on June 10, Tanzania's High Court froze all party activities and assets amid internal issues, essentially shutting the party down. So what's really happening here? Despite some political reform and opening up of the democratic space early in President Samia Suluhu Hassan's term, her government is now consolidating power. With the main opposition party out of the race, Ms. Hassan's ruling Revolutionary Party are all but guaranteed to win by a landslide come October polls. And I think let's leave it at that, Louw.
Thank you for joining Africa Insight this week. If you'd like more information on our products or services, please visit our website or socials.